Hi all, welcome back to the channel and our kayaking adventures. Today we are going to go chase some waterfalls over at Lake Glenville. Lake Glenville is located in Jackson County, North Carolina. It's going to take us an hour and 15 minutes to get there, and I've got to load up my kayaks. So without further ado, let's get started. We arrived at Lake Glenville about 9 a.m. on Sunday, August 30th. The forecasted weather reports indicated a possibility of afternoon and evening showers, so we planned to get our kayaks out on the water early. We had actually postponed the trip from the previous day since the remnants of Hurricane Laura were passing through the area. After researching the lake, our plans were set to visit two of the lake's waterfalls. The first would be Mills Creek Falls, which was approximately 2 miles from the Powerhouse boat launch. The second waterfall we planned to visit would be Norton Creek Falls, which would be a little over 3 miles from Mills Creek Falls. In total, this would be an 8.5 mile trip. There are at least 2 public boat launches on the north side of the lake, the Powerhouse boat launch, which was the one we launched from, and Pine Creek access area. I believe you could also launch a kayak from Pine's recreation area. As we paddled from the boat ramp, the water felt particularly heavy. It was as if we were paddling upstream on a river. We were certainly going to get a workout today on our kayaks. Lake Glenville has 26 miles of shoreline and is at the highest elevation of any lake east of the Mississippi at 3,494 feet above sea level. Lake Glenville is also known as Thorpe's Reservoir or Thorpe's Lake on some maps. The construction of the Glenville-Thorpe Dam began in June of 1940. During World War II, the Nantahala Power and Light Company, which then was owned by Alcoa Company, constructed the dam on the Tuckasegee River so it could supply their company with more electricity to make the aluminum needed for the war effort. This aluminum would be used in the production of the B-17 warplanes. At the bottom of the reservoir once stood the old town of Glenville. Old Glenville was thriving with residents, businesses, churches, small farms, a post office, and a school. The settlement stretched over 3.5 miles from close to the Hurricane Falls to the present-day dam. The old buildings were removed prior to filling the lake. Several major streams supply the lake with water: Hurricane Creek, Norton Creek, Mill Creek, Cedar Creek, and Pine Creek. The lake is 165 feet deep in some places. As we paddled the lake, it wasn't very active with boaters yet. The abundance of motorcraft is one of the biggest complaints I read about this destination. Getting there early on a Sunday morning was to our advantage. One of the things we noticed was the lack of wildlife. Other than the ducks near the waterfalls, we really saw no other waterfowl. It's a shame. It would make this trip a lot more interesting. It didn't really take long being out on the water before it really started to get warm. When we entered the water, the temperature was a cool 68 degrees. However, it was feeling much warmer now, almost after paddling for 2 miles. We were certainly looking forward to finding the first waterfall of the day. Up ahead is Mill Creek Falls. Mill Creek Falls was interesting. It was strange to see a house built so close to the falls. While the sounds of the falls can be relaxing, I don't think I'd enjoy hearing them all day, every day. There were no trespassing signs on both sides of the shore, which detracts from the beauty of the place. But I guess it makes the homeowners happy. A few pontoon boats pulled up, took some pictures, and left while we were there. They were all pretty respectful to everyone. With the first waterfall found, it was time to move on to the next waterfall. Paddling away from the waterfall back to the main section of the lake was much easier than the paddle to the first waterfall. However, once we got to the main section and paddled south towards the next waterfall, the water again got heavy. There's got to be some type of current that we just can't see that's slowing us down. As we paddled, a bug kept flying in my face. I tried to swat it away, and my hat band flew off. Unfortunately, it sunk fast, and I was unable to retrieve it. There were now more boats on the water. A few jet skiers flying by, leaving a large wake behind. The first waterfall left us with excitement, and we were wondering what the next waterfall would be like. There was a large island out in the middle of the lake, but it appeared to be someone's home. I'm not sure of the story on that one. If you do happen to know, let me know in the comments. The water at this lake is generally very pristine. However, with the heavy rains Friday and Saturday from the remnants of Hurricane Laura, it did affect the water quality. The shoreline was pretty much fortified with rocks and concrete, so there isn't much erosion like we saw at Lake Jocassee. Up ahead is Norton Creek Falls. We have just paddled a little over 5 miles so far this day. At Norton Creek Falls, we stopped, pulled our kayaks out of the water, took a nice long rest, and had a snack. After 5 miles of kayaking, we needed a break. The view of this falls was spectacular. Again, there was a house built at the top of the falls, but it was much less noticeable. As we started paddling back, it was much easier. We had 3 miles to go, and even though we were starting to get tired, we decided to drive over to Bridal Veil Falls once our kayaking was done. So make sure you watch the end of this video so you can see that awesome waterfall as well. Even though the town that used to be below this water has been gone for almost 80 years, I can't help but wonder what it used to be like before the dam. I tried finding more information online, however, there weren't many tales to tell. The land below was originally named Hamburg, and the settlement began as early as 1827. It was used as a fort in case of attack from the local Cherokee people. The town suffered during the Civil War, but was slowly rebuilt, and in the late 1880s was once again a thriving area with industries such as lumbering, tanning, and mining. In 1891, the town was renamed Glenville, but now the shoreline is scattered with multi-million-dollar vacation homes with views of this lake that buried an old forgotten town. If you have some historical knowledge of old Glenville, share it in the comments. I'm sure someone will read it and appreciate it. As we come to the end of this paddle, the adventure was not quite over yet. We had one more waterfall left to see that day. This one we had to drive to. There wasn't a lake to take us there. Within the Nantahala National Forest and its lakes and trees, there are plenty of waterfalls to find. Each one has its own characteristics. I encourage you to explore to see for yourself, and I hope to see you out on the water someday. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to like this video and share it with your friends. Join Team Kayak 7 Seas by subscribing to this channel. Check us out on Facebook and Instagram.